live from New York. It's the show that is, quote, playing hurt because they got injured in a late summer workout regimen.
It happens.
Do you want to explain to the...
It was jumping rope like the boxers do.
Except
but
yours was on your double Dutch team. Right?
No.
7 days, Brew has been jumping rope. On day 7, you have strained a calf. So how long are you out for?
Well, that's the thing.
I'm going to go to the elliptical for the next week.
Okay.
I think it should be out.
Bro, we can't have you pop your Achilles.
No, I'm
right
concerned
before.
about that.
Right, yeah.
Don't pop your Achilles.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to be careful.
We start with yet another quarterback in Cleveland. The Browns signing recent Raven and Dolphin Tyler Huntley as their 5th quarterback, 6th on the payroll with Deshaun. Pickett and Gabriel have hamstring issues, so Cleveland added some more depth. Shedeur listed as the 4th string quarterback still. Your reaction to this latest move in Cleveland?
This is totally fine until it's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay.
And here's what I mean. If there are circumstances where this is great. No, you have 90-man rosters.
Right.
They actually have 6 quarterbacks because Deshaun's one of them. But Deshaun's obviously out. You have Gabriel and Pickett who are dealing with stuff. And you have a preseason game coming up on Friday, and if the thought process is Pickett and Gabriel, we don't think they're going to play in it. Okay, so now you have Flacco, who's 40,
and you're not going to play him.
He's out.
Well, Flacco maybe the plan is don't play him at all, and then you have Shedeur, and it's like, okay, is it even fair to Shedeur to say, hey, you're going to, after having the least amount of reps in training camp, you're now going to play a full 60-minute preseason game. Is that setting us up for success? And maybe the answer is, yeah, we're fine with doing that. But if something happens to Shedeur, you might say, it's preseason, who cares? You still need to run a functional offense, and Huntley has been, with Stefanski, knows the offense. Yeah. That part's fine. So there are a lot of circumstances where this is fine. The circumstances where it will not be fine is if at the joint practice tomorrow, you see Shedeur got, when ESPN Cleveland posts it, 12 pass attempts and Huntley got 9. Where it won't be fine is if Shedeur plays a quarter and a half of the preseason game and Huntley plays a quarter of the preseason game. That won't be okay because who's
playing the other half?
Well, I don't know, because Gabriel hasn't been ruled out. You know what I mean? And we're just assuming Flacco wouldn't be playing, but maybe their plan is, no, we're going to have Flacco play 1 quarter of the first game and that's it. I don't know. He cannot, and I feel the same way about Gabriel. I would feel the same way about Huntley in relation to Gabriel, I'm saying. He cannot take legitimate practice time or preseason game time from either of your 2 rookies. So if it's just a break glass in case of emergency, so be it. But if he is actually out on the field when Shedeur could be, or Gabriel could be, if Gabriel's hamstring heals up, then something funny is going on in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. And we see the numbers. Shedeur's look good. We have absolutely, positively no idea what those numbers mean. Is he facing lesser competition? He appears to be facing the first team
a lot of the
with
time.
Second team receivers and weapons. So that you would think that's good. But I read Albert Breer writes today or yesterday that Shedeur is way behind. He said the reason he's not getting first team reps is because he doesn't have that grasp of the offense to where he can do it yet. And he spoke more not glowingly, but more positive about Gabriel. So I don't know where Shedeur is at. I think he's a better prospect than Dillon Gabriel for several reasons. What they did in college, his size. I can't go off what we've seen so far because we haven't seen much. But I do agree, as long as, you don't want to throw Shedeur in. If he's just out of his element, sure, and way behind, I guess I get that. I don't know why he should be. I mean, he had 2 years or a few years of college experience.
3, yeah.
2 at the big time level. So that's a bit baffling if that's the case. But I do agree. Look, if I take Flacco out of the preseason game, or let's say he plays a series.
Yes.
And Gabriel and Pickett are out, I want to see Shedeur play like at least half that game.
Maybe
that means
more.
Huntley plays half.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, they brought Huntley in to play him. And I agree. Like, initially I'm thinking if Gabriel was not hurt, then I'm really thinking, why are you even bringing Huntley in? He's clearly not your future, but you do need bodies now. So I get that.
But
I'm just saying I want to see Shedeur for like half the game.
Well, yeah, why couldn't either
half.
of these rookies play 3/4 of a preseason game? It's the preseason. Like and so I don't like the.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday. The guy like Tyler Huntley playing on Friday.
Right, and so I don't.
Like, I'm up to speed. Like, Shadeur's been there for weeks.
And they do have a new OC. I mean, he was there last year on the staff, but they got a new offensive coordinator, so the offense is a little bit different.
But you're also not running your full playbook.
No, you can just run vanilla
it's
stuff.
Strange. It is strange what's going on.
And there is, in Cleveland, there is weird, some by fans, some by local media, conspiracy theories too strong. But there's a lot of speculation about if it is true that the coaching staff and GM did not want Shedeur, and that the owner said, "You're taking Shedeur," which I know Coach seems to really believe is the case. I don't. I
believed that before the owner came out.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying I've changed. I'm just. It's up in the air.
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's a legitimate theory. It doesn't mean it's proven, but it's a legitimate theory. But there is a lot of. So some folks have then taken the leap that the coaching staff doesn't want Shedeur to succeed. I don't think that's true because I think the coaching staff wants themselves to succeed and they want to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
What I would say is this. If Shedeur plays for a half on Friday and looks just competent, there are a couple teams that if I were running them, most notably the Rams, that I'd call Cleveland and be like, hey, you spent a fifth on the kid. We'll give you next year's 4. Like he's 4th on your depth chart. You know what I mean? The Albert Breer is getting his information from the Browns that they're saying he's way behind. And if you're a team like the Rams that has currently an injured quarterback and a backup is an injury-prone quarterback and don't have a long-term plan at quarterback, that to me would be worth a dice roll, especially because there was some speculation that because he got picked like 5 picks before the Rams were on the clock in the 5th round. Right. There was some speculation that they could have taken him in the 5th round anyways. Like that, the personality and diva and those questions about Shedeur, I don't want to say, you can close the book on it entirely, but he's handled himself as a pro. He's, you know what I mean? I know the speeding tickets notwithstanding. He is at every press conference he's done right by, his teammates, his coaching staff. And you're right, we're not out there at practice, and I don't know Stefanski's offense, but I know that he's not the rookie on the team that has the terrible practice numbers and the terrible practice video. And so it seems just a little odd, all of this stuff together.
Let me preface this by saying, as you said, we're not seeing practices, all right? We don't think he's going against the ones. We're just seeing these numbers out of context. But my feeling, it feels like they just don't really like Shedeur. And that's just could be total, I could be totally wrong.
Can I dig into that?
Yeah. Because I'm just saying, like, Nick's put up the numbers. We've had the numbers. Dillon's aren't good. 3 for 14 one day with 2 interceptions.
Is really bad.
But
Shadeur's not coming from a Division III school. He's coming from the Big 12, where he had success.
So you think there's someone, a decision maker, who's like, I want to put an inferior quarterback on the field, and it's going to cost me my job because I have some acts. I just don't.
I don't think
know
anybody.
what that holds.
Right, and that's why I'm just thinking out loud. But from what we see, Shedeur hasn't had first team reps yet. And again, maybe he's not ready.
The simpler solution is he's not actually the ESPN graphic that you guys, we kind of joke about it. I don't like it at all. To be honest with you, I don't like the graphic. I don't think we should have it on the show. And we've had jokes about it. Be like, the numbers are the numbers. I'm like, we don't know what these are.
But so hold on. So let me
so
say
to
something.
have that as like the foundation.
But it's not. Hold on. But it's not just
that's
that.
not just it. It's the college performances and things like that.
I'm talking about just training. Hold on. I'm talking about just training camp.
Yeah.
So you're right. We're not there, but people are, and they. So the local newspaper reporters do podcasts about it. My buddy Ken Carmen is out there all the time with Anthony Lima. They have daily radio shows. When you listen to the people who are out there, the across the board from what the media sees at practice reports have been, Shedeur has been fine and Gabriel's been awful. That is not from the graphic. To me, one of the reasons I do like it is because I have been doing my best to actually follow for the people that are watching it, and it is, to me, an accurate representation. It's not that Shedeur's been great. It's that the two rookies, one is struggling massively, and the video supports that as well. So you're saying it doesn't make sense that they would undercut themselves. I feel very differently than you in that. I think one of the most common things in sports, not just sports, but I will keep it to sports, is people wanting to bring in their guys. When a new head coach comes in, everybody knows, man, or a new GM more notably, like the last draft class, those guys, fire sale on them. If it's true that going into the draft, like this is, I think, a very plausible scenario. Going into the draft, the meddling, erratic owner, Jimmy Haslam, is like, so what do we think about Shedeur? We like him? It seems like he'd be good for business, like Jerry tried to be with Johnny Manziel. And Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski were united. No, we do not. In fact, we don't love any of the quarterbacks enough to spend a first or second round pick on them. There is a kid we do like that we think we can get midway through the draft, but it's not Shedeur. We're a united front. They do it. They go home for the night. The next day, the owner comes in, he's like, hey, newsflash. If that kid's available the next time or the time after we're on the clock, we're taking him. Those guys are not incentivized to then, a month in, be like, well, damn, he's better than the guy that we told you we thought was better.
Why not?
What do you mean?
I'm saying why not?
Because it does make their expertise
because
look shaky
they're the
to
football
the owner.
people.
Because they told you this guy is better
scenario,
than Shedeur.
and that was not what they have said has happened.
No, of course that's not what they've
I know,
said
but I'm
has
saying
happened,
we're just down a hypothetical. But
Yes.
what they've said is not that.
No, I know.
But if it was to go down this path, isn't the easier path like, wow, Shedeur's really good. He can help us win games. And I can go up to the owner like, you know what? You're right. He does have the edge.
Here's what it is.
Like, he's like, yeah, good call. Like, let's roll.
I agree with you. I like to think if I was in their position, I would say, you know what? Shedeur's better. We're moving him up the depth chart. But I think, I'm speculating, Shedeur has looked better than Dillon.
I think
Shedeur hasn't looked like an all-pro.
That's exactly what
you know what I mean? He hasn't looked good enough where it's just, oh my gosh, we got the next,
starter.
He's always
Pro
looked
Bowl
better than
quarterback
Dillon.
here.
That's the weird thing.
No, but that's the point
but
that
they
I'm
didn't
making.
like him better coming out of college, clearly. But now if they're saying he is better than Dillon.
Here's another simple path.
But he's not.
Yeah, he's not. Neither one's going to play over Flacco to begin with.
Right.
But we don't want to admit that. But go ahead.
Blanket incompetence.
Well, that's the other thing.
Probably the simplest line is like when I saw this, like now they are paying 6 quarterbacks, and I know it's like this is actually a Baker
and
Mayfield
none of them
story.
are
right.
This
is just
level quarterbacks.
This is what happens when you make a bad call and continue to like try to chase.
Yeah,
Baker's like I got 41 touchdowns,
curse of Baker.
4,500 yards, and might win MVP this year.
Yeah. So
Probably
no,
not, but
for real though, like that's like that's why I don't think it has to be like an evil plot. I think it's a bunch of stuff stacked on each other. A meddling owner, I think a coach and GM that are feeling the pressure. They haven't a brain trust of an organization that people within the building and ghosts of buildings past have never been able to figure out the quarterback position. You know what? All of it that kind of leads to this morass that makes you, just dating back to giving up draft capital for Kenny Pickett. Like it's decision after decision that just speaks to not knowing what they're doing.
Because if Gabriel actually could play Friday, then you can throw it out there that, you don't need to bring in Huntley now.
He's playing
unless, as Breer said, Shadour's way behind, but I had not heard that until Breer reported it.
No.
So, like you
said,
I'm just telling you what he wrote. But if you could play Shadour and Dillon Friday against Carolina, then if they look horrendous and we can't get anything done with these guys, then you could go out and get a Tyler Huntley just to make practice functional. But I'm probably overstating that. It probably can't be that bad.
Probably when you're having a conversation about which of the 5 quarterbacks on your roster are going to start in the middle of the season, you might be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
You might be a poorly run organization. That might be the simplest. 30, it's not sad, bro. Gee,
I said bad.
Oh, I thought you said it was
sad, too. I remember, I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, I forget.
30 days until Cowboys-Eagles kick off the season. A.J. Brown sat down with Torrey Smith on SiriusXM, talked about his mindset now that the Eagles are champions. I'll be honest with you, I always thought Lombardi was a guy. It was a masculine trophy, but what is the recipe for a repeat?
It's very simple. You're going to have to be proven right about Jalen.
Oh.
He's going to have to be the quarterback that you think he is. He just hasn't needed to show the world. And I'm not trying to speak for you, but because what they did last year, and please hear what I'm saying. This is not an indictment. They won the damn Super Bowl, and they were the best team in the league for 4 months.
Ready to go.
No.
I'm out here like Noah Lyles.
No. But,
say it.
Say it. What they did last year was unprecedented, and I don't believe sustainable, which is winning the Super Bowl with that meager of a passing offense. Again, we would call it meager by choice, but that's the last 10 champions. Like, the worst one prior had Peyton Manning and one of the greatest defenses ever. The other one was Nick Foles by the end of the year, and Carson Wentz was a great running threat. And then it's great passing offenses. If we just go since the merger.
Can I stop there for a quick second? Oh, shoot.
We can go back real quick, but just make the Super Bowl with a bottom 5 pass offense. And that 82 Dolphins team, by the way, that was the strike year. So the idea that they are going to be that dominant defensively and that dominant running the ball again, I just think is unrealistic.
You know what I wish we had, and this is a bad way to talk about graphics, wishing that we had a different one. First half passing offenses. Because remember they had, what was the graphic? They only passed like 9 times from behind or something?
Yeah, but KW, maybe they're not going to be 29th. They were not. They would still be in the 20s.
But
first
remember,
half passing. You know what I mean? Because they got.
No, they run the ball.
6 of those other quarterbacks were Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Yeah. Obviously, you're going to be in the top. And then there's Peyton Manning. I get it. He wasn't very good at that point. But, Matt Stafford. I think it can be done differently. And I agree with sure, is that by passing yards?
Yeah, it's yards.
Okay. He's never going to throw for a ton of yards.
No, but it's just, I'm not saying he's got to be there.
He's efficient.
Right, Brew. I'm not saying he has to be fifth. I'm saying that they've got to be
How many of those teams, though, had strong running games? The Chiefs has been adequate, Yes. The Buccaneers was no good with Brady. The Patriots, okay. You know what I mean? They have something special. And look,
you think they can just rinse and repeat it?
I don't think Saquon's going for 2,000 yards again. I think he can go for 1,500 plus. I'm banking on him going for more than 1,500.
Agreed.
That offensive line's still the best in the league.
Agreed.
He's still young. I think they're going to be strong. I think defensively, they might not be second best in the league.
Yeah.
But I think they can stay in the top 10.
100%
If they stay in the top 10, I would like to see Jalen. Last year, he only threw it 24 times a game. Was bottom of the league. Threw it only 22 times a game in the playoffs. Yep. I'd like to see that moved up to about 28.
Well, then we're on the same page.
Yeah, but you're still a run-first offense, run-heavy offense. But he throws it a little bit more, keep the defense honest, keep the receivers happy too.
Yes.
And then your defense doesn't take a major step back. I think that's the recipe.
Is that because you expect the Eagles to face a totally different defensive.
Why I don't think Saquon will go for $2,000?
Well, like, why? I know you're like, well, you want Jalen to throw 28, but if it's worked, do you think they'll be facing a defense that's going to be selling out to stop Saquon, and he's going to have to do that?
No, I think one, it's just he had well over 300 carries last year. I think that's a lot to put on him back-to-back years.
Yeah.
And it's never been done.
And
nobody's even come close to it.
The 40+ yard runs. Those are
even out, maybe.
Yeah,
he's
highly
always
variable.
He's
I
a
know,
big
but so
play
like
guy, though.
It's just a tackle here or there.
And so, again, 28 times a game passing the ball is not a lot.
So that's,
not like
we're saying I think the same thing. Is my point is that they have to be more prolific. I won't even say better because I'm not trying to argue with Wildes.
I didn't say anything.
I can just see it, man.
More
You're just
prolific.
waiting for the tiger. More prolific passing the ball because Brew and I think what he said is exactly right. I think Saquon will still be really good. But we're not going to be talking about, is he going to set the single-season rushing record? I think the defense will still be really good. But I don't think we're going to be talking about how they are the best or second best in every major stat. And so where do you make up the difference, especially because even though the Eagles were, the margin between them and everyone else at the final 2 games of the year looked massive. Throughout the year, it did not. You know what I mean? It's not like we looked like the Eagles, they didn't have the best record in their conference. The first 2 playoff games were close games. Mm-hmm. You know, so if they go backwards just a little bit from historically great to really good in those 2 places, they need to get better in the place where they were, you know, bottom of the league as far as raw numbers. Yeah, attempts and yardage. Like,
I think he can do it. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the Steelers can stop the run, so they wanted Jalen to throw, and that was this famous press conference. Like, that's what you wanted to see. I'll air the thing out. Okay. Feels like we all thinking repeat. I'm not predicting repeat, by the way.
You definitely are.
No. First of all, it's not predictions week. I'm not ready to make that choice.
Yeah.
But you will.
Pick a repeat?
Yeah, you will.
I think like the last.
No, you don't get to wait until week 2.
Predictions, you've picked a repeat.
Yeah.
Well, I picked the Chiefs every year.
Well, it's the
I'm talking about just sports,
basketball, football, baseball, World Cup. You're a hockey. You're a
NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you're NCAA for sure.
World
UConn.
Series.
Yeah, you're a repeat guy.
Wait, do we have it? Captain Easy Stance?
No.
Is he up there?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.